I'm Mary McMaster, and I am a researcher at the National Cancer Institute at the National Institutes of Health. And how I came to be involved in Waldenstrom's research is that when I first arrived at NCI as a bright young enthusiastic person with no project, a senior investigator asked me to review some records on some families that had been evaluated there up to 20 years earlier. And what struck me in going through these individuals' records was that some of the family members who did not have Waldenstrom's and to all intents and purposes were healthy had an elevated IgM. And the first thing I thought when I saw that was, this can't be true. Everything I'd ever been taught told me this can't be true. And so that immediately hooked me. And then next was the implications for research. Because when you're interested in finding the genetic basis for a disease, it can be difficult when you only have one or two people in a family that share the disease, because they share a lot of genes, and finding the one or two that are responsible for the condition can be very challenging. But if we now have a way to identify additional people in the family who may share that susceptibility, then the prospects for successful research endeavor just become magnified. So that was the second thing. And the third thing I thought was, here is an opportunity to identify people before they ever develop the cancer. Think of the possibilities. Once we know more about this disease, once we've identified some of the genetic determinants, once we've identified some of the environmental determinants, it may be possible to come up with prevention strategies that would allow us to have a future where people could be identified before they got sick and never have to deal with this disease at all. And that is my dream. It won't happen today. It probably won't happen in the next few years, but someday I think we're going to be there. And if I can contribute to that in even a small way, then I will consider it a career well spent. For patients who are worried about their family members, I think I have a couple of things to say. One is that I'm a daughter and a sister and a mom, and I really understand the anxiety that we have about our relatives. And the second thing I would say is to come to the Patient Education Forum, read, call me, talk to people, and educate yourself about risk. Because while it is true that family members of Waldenstrom's patients have an increased risk to develop Waldenstrom's or a related B-cell cancer, their risk is actually very, very small. And while we don't have time today to go into a full explanation of why that is, the truth of the matter is that the risk is small for an individual, even if they are a family member, and that we need to focus on learning more about this disease for the reasons that I mentioned earlier about the opportunity for prevention, the ever-expanding numbers of treatments that we have available in the meantime. So I think that while it's natural and normal to worry about our family members, that energy is really better directed in educating ourselves and in getting ourselves better and focusing on our health so that we can be there for our family members.